In this video, we're going to dive into one of the most aggressive and innovative defensive schemes in the NFL, and it is Brian Flores' defense as the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator. Flores is a protege of Bill Belichick, and he has taken the principles he learned under the legendary coach and molded them into a relentless blitz-heavy approach for the Vikings. This season, Minnesota has led the league in blitz rate, sending pressure on 47.9% of plays, which is the 10th highest rate for any team since ESPN began tracking in 2006. Today, we're going to break down how you can recreate this incredible blitz package in Madden 25 using two different dime formations. I'm going to show you how you can set up these defenses, walk you through specific blitzes, and give you the game plan that will let you bring Flores' signature pressure style to your own Madden game. Now, this is part of a larger scheme I am developing where I'm breaking down three unique defenses in Madden 25, with two based around Bill Belichick's defensive schemes and then a Belichick protege in Brian Flores. Each defense is going to get its own in-depth breakdown showing you how you can replicate the real-life scheme in-game. We're going to be running everything out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playbook in Madden 25, and you can mix and match elements from all the different game plans to create one giant scheme, and I'll link the playlist for the whole defense down below. Now, before we get into the breakdown, I like to set up my coaching adjustments to look like this for this scheme. Now, you can turn auto flip off because both the dime formations we are using are balanced sets, meaning that it doesn't necessarily matter if auto flip is on, and this can make setting up your blitzes easier. Now, the first formation we're going to be running is dime 2-3 will. This gives us 3 down linemen, 2 off-ball linebackers, and 6 defensive backs. And for most plays, we're going to be starting in max sting 3. This setup will have one of our linebackers walk down to mug one of the gaps along the line of scrimmage. Then when we start in max sting 3, we can also audible to any other play in this formation, and the linebacker will stay down mugging the gap. Now, Flores loves using formation with lots of linebackers and defensive backs on the field. This allows him to have a ton of speed for his blitz packages. This lets him get to the QB faster with his blitzes, but also gives him a ton of speed on the back end for his coverages. Now, in this formation, we're going to have a ton of different blitz variations, most starting from this linebacker mug look. Then when we drop into coverage, we're going to primarily use match defenses, which lets our defenders adapt to the offensive routes in real time. Additionally, we're also going to have setups where we walk down a safety to create an overload look, giving us even more pressure options out of this formation. Now, the first play we're looking at is max sting 3, and this is a cover 3 simulated pressure that makes it look like we're bringing the house, but we're actually only rushing 4 players, which means we can get pressure off the edge while still having a solid coverage setup behind the blitz. Now, to set this up, you just want to pinch your defensive line, then you want to user the linebacker blitzing on the line of scrimmage, and he is going to be your user, and you want to play over the middle of the field with him. Now, this play is great because it brings pressure from our fast dime defensive backs who can get in on the quarterback super quickly, and this is going to help rack up a ton of pressure. Now, despite the heavy pressure look, we're only going to be rushing 4, with our nose tackle actually dropping back out into passing lanes and taking away quick hitters, and as the user linebacker, you want to cover anything that comes open over the middle of the field. And then depending on how your opponent has been attacking, you can also shade up or down with your flats. Now, for coverage in this formation, we're going to be looking at cover 6, and this is one of the best coverages in the game due to its adaptability and versatility in handling various offensive looks. It's a match coverage, meaning defenders react to offensive routes in real time, allowing them to adjust based on what the offense does. Match coverage is something that both Belichick and Flores have used extensively to counter modern offenses, and cover 6 works especially well when paired with our heavy blitzing scheme to keep offenses guessing. Now, cover 6 allows us to effectively cover deep routes while still having one of our safeties involved in run fits. This provides a balanced defense that can stop both the run and the pass, making it versatile in almost any situation. When running cover 6, I prefer to use the hook defender on the line of scrimmage when I'm using this dime formation. So we want to start in max sting 3, then audible to cover 6 at the line. This is going to make our cover 6 look identical to our blitzes in this formation, keeping the offense from knowing whether we are bringing pressure or dropping back into coverage. Now, I'm not going to go over all the rules of cover 6 in this video, but I've provided a PDF link down in the description that provides a full breakdown of all the rules for this coverage. The next formation we're going to be running is dime 1-4. This formation gives us 1 down lineman, 4 linebackers, and then 6 defensive backs. In this formation, we're going to be starting out in DB sting 2 buzz. This setup walks both our linebackers down to mug the B gaps, creating a really intimidating double mug look pre-snap. Now, once we start in DB sting 2 buzz, we can also audible to any other play in this formation, and our linebackers will remain mugged up at the line regardless of which audible we go to. Now, Now, Flores loves using these mug looks on defense to create confusion for the offense and get free rushers on the QB. These are designed to mess with offensive line protection up front, causing confusion and allowing free rushers to get home on the QB. In our Dime 1-4 Madden D, we are going to have a variety of blitzes out of this double mug look, and the pressure we can generate is insane. With an effective mix of zero blitzes, zone blitzes, and both zone and man coverages, we can really keep offenses guessing. Now, the first blitz we are going to be looking at here is DB Sting 2 Buzz, and this is going to be an all-out zone blitz with both outside dime backs blitzing the quarterback, and then we also have a unique stunt involving the defensive end and mugged linebacker that can help generate interior pressure, and then the play has a cover 2 shell on the back end. Now, to set this up, you want to pinch your linebackers and pinch your defensive line right away. This will cause the linebackers and D linemen to switch spots. Then you want to crash your D line down, and this is what helps create these unique interior stunts. And then I like to use the linebacker on the left side of the field most of the time. Now, the edge heat from our blitzing defensive backs comes in extremely fast, and these players should be able to reach the QB very quickly. Then we also have our interior stunt, which is also going to give the offensive line a ton of trouble, allowing for free rushers to come up the middle. And then as the user, you're going to be responsible for the middle of the field, but with the blitz coming in so fast, you're mainly looking for any quick hitters that you see. Then the other blitz we have here is going to be DB Sting. This is a man zero blitz designed to bring maximum pressure. Now, to set this up, you want to pinch your linebackers and pinch your defensive line once again, just like in DB Sting 2 Buzz. This creates that same unique interior stunts. And then I typically use the linebacker on the same side as the running back. Now, this is an all-out pressure blitz with both our dime bats blitzing off the edge, giving you some incredibly fast pressure. Then even if they block extra players, you can still get free rushers in. Then these interior stunts can also cause a ton of confusion, allowing your inside players to get in on the quarterback. Then as a user, you want to cover whichever offensive player is left uncovered in man coverage. And if they stay in a block, you can roam the middle and help out, or if they leave on a route, then you need to cover them. Then with man coverage across the board, you're going to want some strong defensive backs who can stick with their assignment and make plays on the ball when it comes their way. Then if you want to take your Madden game to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up today, I have part 2 for this Vikings dime defense. I break down 6 more plays for our 2 dime formations, and we're going to have a ton of really good blitzes that are going to get some great pressure in on the QB. Then we have some really good coverages that will work off our blitzes that are going to look the same as them pre-snap, and we're going to be breaking down some man coverage and zone coverages. Then also for this whole scheme, we also have my nickel 3-3 Cub defensive mini scheme on the site, plus part 2 of my Belichick Pats nickel defense and my 3-4 Belichick Giants defense as well, all on the site. Then there's also a ton of different offensive schemes on the site. Also, like my dual threat QB offense, where I break down some of the greatest running QBs of all time and how you can use them to their full potential in both Madden and College Football 25. Then also have my spread to run offense, where I broke down 3 of the best college offenses of all time. And I have multiple defenses on the site, like my Nick Saban defensive scheme that works for both Madden and College Football 25. So by subscribing to the site, you'll also get access to all my Madden 25 content and my College Football 25 content for one price. So if you want to purchase memberships, you can get the yearly membership, which will save you $50 over the course of the year. Then I'm also going to be running my Belichick defensive sale on the site. This is going to run until December 1st. Use code GOAT to get 50% off your first month if you do the monthly membership. Now, if you want to check out the site, I will link it down below. Now, in this section, we're going to discuss how we can utilize this Vikings dime defense effectively against your opponents in Madden. Now, this scheme is all about bringing the heat and using our crazy blitzes to our advantage. And I wanted to make sure I brought some really unique stuff to the table when creating these blitzes so they would be as effective as possible. And one thing I really like to do is mug gaps. And we broke this down earlier, but what this is going to do is it's going to put our linebackers on the line, and this can confuse the O-line protections up front and allow us to get so many more free rushers in at the QB. Then I also wanted to create a bunch of stunts in our blitzes where our defensive linemen or linebackers will cross, and this can create confusion for the protection and allow us to get an absolute ton of free rushers in on the QB off of these stunts. Now, I'm breaking down 3 different versions of these kind of stunt-based blitzes on the Scheme Kings version of this video that is up right now. Then the other thing we can do for this defense is create a super powerful overload blitz where we walk a safety down along the line of scrimmage, and this overload can create a ton of problems schemes for the blocking up front. Now, the first version is our blitz variation of this play, and it is going to be at an Okie roll 2 in dime 2-3 will. And we're going to see our safety walk down beside our defensive end. Then we're going to have our two linebackers mugging the gap, and our nickel will be overloading on this side as well. And this look can just give us a ton of free pressure coming off the overload side. To set this up, you want to slant your D-line down and then QB contain. Then you want to user the linebacker away from the overload side and bring him down into the gap on that side. And that is it. That is a setup. So when it is set up like this, we're going to get a ton of pressure off the edge from our overload. Then for the coverage in behind it, we have our cover 2 invert shell with our two deep safeties taking away the vertical shots. Then we have two players in the flats locking them down. And then we're going to have our two linebackers in the hooks taking away the middle of the field. Then we can also turn this play call into a coverage version as well. So it's going to be Okie roll 2. And now when this safety walks down, we want to drop him into a deep middle third. Then we want to user the linebacker on the opposite side. We want to mug that B gap once again. And now this is going to look identical to our blitz version of this play. It's going to have that same overload look, and they're going to think we're bringing heat, but now we're going to have that safety dropping out to take away the deep middle of the field. Then we're going to have our two linebackers also playing over the middle, taking away those quick hitters when they think they have to beat the blitz. Now, with what you have for this defense, you'll be in a great spot, but don't forget, I have part 2 of this Brian Flores defense live on Scheme Kings right now, and then a ton more videos on the site that you can add to this whole Belichick Flores scheme. But then if you want a full breakdown of the idea behind this whole Belichick defense and a deep dive into the personnel we're going to be using for this scheme, then you have to check out the intro video for the whole defense right here.